Day 42, verses 62-63, the silent descent. Namaste and welcome to Gita 360. Earlier, Krishna spoke about the power of the senses and the need for a deeper anchor in life. In verses 62 and 63, he reveals the mind's quick movement from a single thought to complete inner turmoil. One of the most psychologically powerful teachings in the Gita, it describes a chain reaction that fast unfolds within all of us. While contemplating on the objects of the senses, one develops attachment to them. Attachment leads to desire, and from desire arises anger. The Gita begins at the very first point where all inner disturbance takes birth, thought. The mind rests on something, then it keeps returning to it. It may be a person, an ambition, an object, a pleasure, or even an idea of how life should unfold. At first, it appears harmless, a passing thought, an unsaid wish, a simple preference. But what we repeatedly dwell upon begins to take root within us. That repeated attention slowly becomes attachment. We begin to feel emotionally invested. We start building hopes around it. We begin to believe that having it, keeping it, or experiencing it is important for our happiness. We attach our future to this passing thought. From this attachment comes desire, a stronger force. Desire carries urgency. It begins to demand fulfillment. And once the mind becomes convinced that peace depends on getting what it wants, frustration is never far away. That thought then pervades our mind and takes it over. If and when life blocks that desire, delays it, or takes it away, anger rises. That anger may be directed towards another person, towards circumstances, towards fate, or even towards ourselves. And what is striking is the fact that the anger did not begin at the moment of reaction. It began far earlier in a thought that quietly stayed in the mind and gathered power. Anger leads to clouding of judgment or delusion, which results in bewilderment of memory. When memory is bewildered, the intellect gets destroyed, and when the intellect is destroyed, one is ruined. Anger changes the way we see things, as in that moment, perspective narrows. We stop seeing the whole picture. We say words we do not truly mean. We make choices that do not reflect our deeper values. Emotion takes over judgment. We get into a zone of delusion where we get carried away by a distorted state of mind. In delusion, our memory gets affected, and it is not about forgetting facts. In moments of emotional upheaval, we forget what life has taught us. We forget patience. We forget compassion. We forget restraint. We forget wisdom. And we forget who we really are. And when that memory of the self fades, intellect weakens. The part of the brain meant to guide us loses its strength. What follows then is downfall. Sometimes it is clear and visible in terms of broken relationships, damaged trust, reckless decisions. At other times, it's a silent, implicit breakdown, loss of peace, growing bitterness, and a mind that feels increasingly unsettled. These verses show us that collapse rarely happens suddenly. It unfolds one step at a time. Think of how often this chain from thought to delusion plays out in ordinary life. A person keeps comparing their life with someone else's. That comparison grows into attachment towards a certain lifestyle. Soon it becomes desire. I must have that too. When it does not happen, frustration enters. That frustration becomes resentment, anger, a quiet dissatisfaction. Or in relationships, we build expectations around how someone should behave towards us. That expectation becomes attachment. When they fail to meet it, we are hurt, and hurt often hardens into anger. Even habits work this way. A small indulgence becomes repeated thought. Repeated thought becomes craving. Craving becomes dependence. The final reaction looks sudden, but its roots have been growing for a long time. That is why awareness matters at the beginning, when the first thought starts settling in the mind. That is where freedom lies, not in controlling the final explosion, but in recognizing the first spark. Thought of the day. Every inner storm has an origin. It usually begins quietly, long before it becomes visible. So take a pause today to ask yourself, what thought keeps returning to my mind and slowly gaining strength? Is that thought shaping my emotions without me fully noticing it? Thank you for joining me on Gita 360. May you become aware of the first spark in the mind, and in that awareness, protect your peace well before the descent begins.